In today's video, we want to talk about yesterday's correction to the downside, what is exactly happening in the market and why we was rejecting over here at the top of our resistance line. We want to also talk about a little bit of the Nasdaq because we're kind of on the way in the next all-time high, and have to talk about the next key zones here for Bitcoin because it looks like we just got a liquidity grab here to the downside before we see here massive breakout to the upside. And by recording the video, I directly got here notification of our take profit hit on our Solana position. So we also have to talk about our Solana trade. So definitely stick around, subscribe to the channel, and then let's get directly started in our trade updates. So as you saw already, I got a notification of our Solana trade. We closed our Solana trade here 17% in profit at 220 US dollars. I shared these trades set up I think 2 days ago in our Telegram channel. So if you're not part of the Telegram channel, now is definitely the moment where you should definitely be part of our Telegram group. So we can also talk here about our Bitcoin position. We are now here on our 1 hourly chart here in Bitfinex. As you can see, our trade is doing well. We are here in profit, waiting for our breakout on the 1 hourly chart. We go later directly in the chart to mention also here the next trade setup for you. Even also our paper position is doing well, 10% in profit. Our sand position is still kind of in a loss, but it's still fine. We are doing here on a low leverage side, so we can give also here sand a little bit more time to the upside. Dodge position is doing very well. We also scale the position still up, so now we are great in profits, and the same belongs also for XRP and for Bitcoin, as you see here already. And I will also open a new trade today, so definitely stick around until the very end. But let's go here in the 15-minute chart or the 4-hourly chart. We can directly start here on Bitcoin. Here we can see we are in our falling wedge here on Bitcoin, and as soon we're getting here the breakout around 14,500 US dollars. Target would be here the upside of our falling wedge to the upside around 120 to 121,000 US dollars, and it's mark these price targets because especially when we're going here into lower time frames, you will understand why this key level is so important for our next targets. Especially when we're going a little bit closer in the chart, we can see we have here our triangle respecting here our higher uptrend to the upside. Yesterday we saw here a small fake out to the downside, but reclaimed the 50 moving average here on the 4-hourly chart and came straight into our triangle again. So we will want to wait until we have the breakout of our triangle here at around 113,500 US dollars, which is exactly the key level we have to watch. So this is the key level you have to pay attention right now. So we have here one resistance, two resistance attack, and the third resistance attack, and as many times we're getting here closer in this level, one time the level will broke. Even also our 50 moving average on the daily chart will got moving like a little bit closer to us right now. So as soon we're getting here the breakout of the 50 moving average and also the potential breakout of 113,200 US dollars, expect here a massive move here for Bitcoin in direction of 120,000 US dollars, because trade target would be here around 120,000 US dollars. We talked here many times about this, especially here with kind of the level of 113,000 US dollars. As you can see here, we broke here to the upside, saw this massive rally. Got here massive support one time, another massive support a second time, and then we broke it here to the downside. Flipped it as resistance one time, two times, third time, and the next time when we will break this would give us the target of 119,000 US dollars. When we here on our 1 hourly chart, we can first of all clearly see that we are here in our falling wedge pattern here right now, which give us a trade target of 122,000, 123,000 US dollars. But we have also still our inverse head and shoulders pattern running. We can adjust it a little bit. So yesterday we was not able to break the neckline, so we can adjust it a little bit to the downside. And as soon we're getting here the neckline broke, especially on the 1 hourly chart, and even also when we're going here to the daily chart, you can see even also on the daily chart, the head and shoulders pattern is still active here right now. As you can see here, head and shoulders pattern is here active right now. So as soon we're getting here the breakout, price target would be around, from neckline to the head of the pattern would be here around 100, what is it? 118,000, 117,000 US dollars, which means we would take our last high here around 107,000 US dollars. And this is exactly a very, very important level we have to break here to see continuation in the next higher levels. Even also when we are having a look on the liquidation heat map, we can see yesterday by our flash to the downside, we saw massive liquidations here down below, grabbed the liquidity, and now here are on the way in direction of 112,000 US dollars again. Why the hell we get this move here to the downside? And there are two scenarios, and there are two reasons. One reason for sure, the big resistance line over here. We was not able to break this resistance line to the upside, even also when we are having a look on the daily chart on the EMAs. Many times we talk exactly about the 50 moving average. 50 moving average is holding our chart here on Bitcoin down. So it's very hard to break here to the 50 moving average to the upside. As soon we're breaking to the 50 moving average to the upside, expect here this move in direction of 120,000 US dollars. And the second reason was here already our data is coming out. Yesterday we got our payroll corrections here yesterday. It was previously expected around 600,000, but we came out with 911,000, which is the huge biggest correction in the history. So this gave also us the more movements here on Bitcoin to the downside. At least there will also come some data here now on Wednesday and also on Thursday. We can also check here. Let's go here also for the next couple of days here, which data we can expect. So today we have PPI data is coming out, and also tomorrow. Let's have a look on tomorrow, because tomorrow there will also data coming out. Where we have it here right now. So tomorrow there will also come in data, also very, very important data. CPI data is coming out, and especially last times when we got the CPI data, we saw a massive move here on Bitcoin to the downside. So if the CPI data came not out bullish for us, if CPI data came also not bullish for us, expect also here more continuation to the downside. Is also having a little bit of the Nasdaq impact. So at least if the Nasdaq will here follow through to the upside in direction of the next high here, breaking here the last high here around 24,000 points. Expect also Bitcoin make the continuation to the upside. If we see a correction also on Nasdaq, what potentially happen if the data come negative out for us, see also the Nasdaq will come one more leg down, pushing here the 50 moving average, or at least the 200 moving average on the 4-hourly chart, before we see here the next move to the upside. And if the Nasdaq is following downside movements, expect also the same for the Bitcoin chart. Yesterday, we came here on the Nasdaq perfectly a bounce on the 50 moving average, which also remains that Bitcoin is here doing now today a little bit more better. So on the 1-hourly chart, we can see we're climbing here in direction of 112,000 US dollars right now. So by recording the video, we could potentially also break here in direction of 112,800 US dollars to get here in the next push about the 50 moving average on the daily chart. And this is exactly what we want to see here right now. The next trade I want to open will be on Ethereum, because especially Ethereum on the daily chart looks super bullish for us. As you can see here right now, in the last 4 days, we have green candles, super bullish signs here for Ethereum, and now also finally breakout of our triangle here to the upside. Price target of our triangle would be here around the next high here in a direction of Ethereum. My main target for Ethereum would be here like around 5,000 US dollars, so which gave us a new trade entry here. If you just catch the trade right now in direction of 5,000 US dollars, gave you 15% to the upside. Stop loss kind of on the last low here around 4,200 US dollars kind of way. So which gave you a risk to reward ratio of 6.8, which means you would make here 15% to the upside with a 10x leverage, would be over 150% on your trading capital, on your trading money. So this is definitely a good swing position you can enter right now. I will even also make take a next position here on Bitfinex for Ethereum. So if you don't have an exchange right now, just go in the video description. There you find a link here to Bitfinex. This is the exchange I use for all my trading. As you can see here already, our Bitcoin position is here going higher and higher. Yesterday we scaled it already up, as on the movements here to the downside. It took exactly this move to the downside to scale here a little bit more in my Bitcoin position, because my entry was before here around, I think it was kind of like around $109,000. Now it's at $110,000 because I scale a little bit more in. And now we see here on the 50-minute chart like a perfect recovery pattern, so like a perfect V-shaped recovery here to the upside. And as soon we're reclaiming here kind of $112,800, the direction in the next breakout zone would be here in the cards right now. Quick look also on the liquidations in the 1 weekly chart before we end the video. Will be here around the next big liquidity zone is exactly around this level. So wait until we are getting here in direction of $113,000, $114,000, because there's a lot of liquidity sitting there. One thing we have to keep in mind, especially when the CPI data came in, there's some liquidity sitting down below at $108,000. But as you can see here on the 2 weekly chart or also on the monthly chart, main direction for Bitcoin is to the upside. Key zones, main direction is here on the upside. So we even also built a lot of liquidity in top of $120,000. So for me, main direction for Bitcoin is clear. That's the reason why I keep my trade here still open. We'll run this trade in the next all-time high. We'll scale it up if we see a more and more correction here to the downside. But this is exactly the way we're trading here on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then we see in the next update video tomorrow.